Hey everybody, and welcome to James C. Stark Radio. Hey, it's been a while since I've been on here, you guys, because, we're all kind of quarantined in this crazy plague, virus, alien crap. I don't know what the heck it is. But anyways, we're back having a great time, and with me today, I've got the one and only, again, the artist and impresario, Mr. Tony Noyes. Oh, shut up already, that's cold.
Jesus Christ. Jim, for God's sakes, Jim, shut the fuck up.
Dude, thanks for braving it and coming out, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's unfortunate that we have to sit way across the room. You're way over there and we're almost yelling at one another. No, but thanks for having
right?
me. I mean,
it's cool. It sounds like we're sitting in each other's lap. Oh, I love when he does that. But yeah, we're stuck. But we're getting it done. It's kind of cool. I do not want to turn this into a COVID crazy thing at all.
Then we'll keep that out of there.
So we're going to keep it out of
Sorry,
here.
I had to bring
but
that up.
But I am going to ask you, what's the craziest thing you've seen at the store so far?
I think the whole thing's crazy. I mean, honestly, the whole mood, I'm fine chilling at home because I kind of do that anyway. The wife and I work from home.
Yeah.
As a kid, we were homeschooling for a long time, so that's kind of really, this is not out of the norm. It's the going into the stores, and I'll tell you that the first... When I caught wind of, hey, this thing's good, they're talking about locking down shit, I got a little note in Facebook or just, a message or a recording. So I go, well, I'll go out and just stock up on a few things. And I didn't go crazy like some of these people did. But I went out and got like 4 packages of chicken that'll last me. Each one will go a week. And, went out and got just normal stuff to kind of just stock me up for the next month or so. And I see everybody, I'm in a cart, and people are kind of looking at each other out of the corner of their eyes. And we're like almost kind of rushing.
I know, right? It's like you're revving the engine. Like who's going to get to that last box of toilet paper?
Right.
Last thing of butt wipes.
Is he going to go for the water? And this guy gets to the water and he starts stocking his fucking, he thought I was going for the water. And I went behind him just to get the flavored water. I don't want the gallon jug, dude.
Knock yourself out.
And he's looking like he's going to fight me outright. I go, what the fuck is wrong with you? So that's it's just people. It's just the way they react to this whole thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the craziest thing about all of it. And none of it makes sense, And everybody's fighting one another on what we should do, and nobody really knows.
Yeah. Keep on keeping on. That's all we can do. And speaking of that, you've been really keeping on through all this. You've accomplished something really amazing, and you released a new album.
Yes, sir.
Today we get to play some cool tracks out that no one's heard yet.
Oh,
Which is kind of neat. A couple of them you did, and a couple of them that are going to be brand new right here today, kids. So stay tuned.
I don't know that I played any off the new album for you last time.
No, not last time. But you put a couple on, released them already, a few. Didn't you put this guy out already? I want to say the name.
Well, yeah. A Girl Like You and Wings of Gossip are available for download.
But these other two are secrets.
But I haven't played these for anything.
I know.
They've been on no radio stations,
nothing.
No podcasts.
That's what I'm excited
only
about. Stay with the
piece
class,
of them.
Tony.
Only a piece of them. I'm just trying to tell you how special you are.
I
a piece of them in a card for an advertisement I put online. This is the first time ever, folks, that they're broadcasts full spectrum. The full songs. Full songs. Shut up.
They better be good now. See, now we got all the pressure.
Dude, they suck ass. They're fucking awful, and it's happening here.
Well, what started this adventure on this album? What lit that fire to get you going again?
This was a thing that spawned. Actually, I remember it. I was 23 years old. It was probably earlier than that, but I wanted to do. 23 is when I kind of broke it. I hit a few bands when I was 19, 20, 21. Hit the bars, and then I wanted to do a solo record. So I started writing for doing a solo album, and every time I started writing a solo album, and I'd start getting musicians in to record with, it just morphed into a band because everybody, I was pretty bad at saying no. It was like, let's do it this way, let's do...
Yeah,
let's start with... And then next thing you know...
you could gel with anyway, and you're like, well, it's kind of cool, let's do it.
And it was cool. It was cool, but it still wasn't that solo record that,
right,
that you wrote, or that I wrote, and it would change into something, which is cool to have that, like you said. But
it's
anyway,
still not your solo album,
right? So I figured time now that I'm hitting 32 years old, 32, right?
Yeah,
I'm 32
again.
Still.
I'm going to be 32 this year again too.
Aren't we all? But no, I'm getting older. I'm going, oh shit! Now things on my list are buying a Corvette. As an old man now, and recording this goddamn album.
Oh man!
And so anyway, I had to get in and do it. So
really, you have to get that vet thing out of your system.
Mine's actually a Dodge Charger. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean a 1969 Dodge Charger.
Oh
So yeah, I haven't ever owned that.
track.
So
No,
I would
there you
love
go.
to.
No, that's cool.
At one of these
That's not a
times.
vet. Next thing you're gonna say was a Trans Am.
No.
Stuck on Billy's. The tape player's stuck with one tape. And it's Billy Squire.
Yeah, with a bandit hat and a red jacket. I'm gonna go fucking chase around the cops. Get the cops to chase me, but no,
What finally made you like make the decision to do it though? Finally just say, forget it. I'm going to do the album. Finally, after all these years, let me lay this sucker down.
Well, I'll tell you what. When you said light that fire, because the fire dwindled quite a bit, and I just got burned out. I was working all the time, playing in cover bands. I've been doing cover bands for a decade straight now, and tribute bands. So I said, finally, I think the age. I hit the age. I did turn 50, and. Or I was even approaching it, and I'm like, I got to get it doing it. I haven't done anything for about a year. I just got out of all the bands and just chilled and got into doing some films the last few years, but wanted to figure out which way I wanted to go. So the album came up, and I said, I got to get that done and just do it. I should have a lot more albums under my belt at this age.
I know. I know. That's how we are. Weirdos.
That's my plan is to
procrastinator, musical procrastination.
I'll do it someday.
But and then I don't know what to call it.
Both. A little bit of both. So I went ahead and shit it out. I had that constipation. I shit it out, and here's the album. But so I hired Chris Cotero. I hit him up. I did a song with him and some other friends, and he produced it at his studio, which we call The Lair.
Nice.
And excuse me, it's a good soda.
That was a good one.
So anyway, I hired him to produce it, and which was another thing that was kind of interesting because he helped me in a lot of ways to restart that fire. Because musically, I was kind of dead, just going, I want to create. And in order, I'm sure you've witnessed the same thing, is getting around people that are better than you, that you just saw, you suck compared to these people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all of a sudden you go, holy shit, I got to work on my stuff.
Yeah.
It lights that fire. Well,
all the time.
Chris Cotero is a very talented guy. He's got, he's very educated in music, and, I kind of play by ear, and he's got all the terminology down and stuff. And I can figure out certain chords, and he'd go, oh, what you did there was a blah, blah, a triad, blah, or, call it something. And I'm like, I did? And he'd go, I don't think you noticed that.
What did I do?
What did I just do? But whatever I wrote was, it's the technical stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah. So it was nice. I think once he connected a few of the dots for me, because I always knew that there's something missing in my music. He kind of said, here, try this. You're kind of stuck here where a lot of musicians are.
Right.
Try these things. And I just, all of a sudden, this light came on, and I went, holy shit. So I started doing research with different artists like Queen and Elton John, and listened to the way they format music and just a few of the things that he had mentioned. And then I just went off. I wrote this whole thing.
You've done a lot of different stuff on here.
There is a lot of different flavors.
Yes.
And dude, you haven't heard the whole thing.
No, I haven't. Just from what I've heard already is just the last one we're gonna play later, the Wings of Gossamer. I'm just gonna let it out of the bag now. That one is just, it's wild, man. It takes you on a whole journey on. It's bizarre. And you do it quick. It feels like the song's much longer than it is because there's so many cool things you put in there, but you didn't stuff out. We'll get to that one later.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'll talk about that for a while.
Yeah. No, it's a great. A lot of the songs are about the same.
Before we do get to playing one, let me ask you really quick. Do you have a favorite track on here?
I really don't. I don't have. I have a couple that I really dig, but I think it's written. I wrote it so that all the songs from beginning to end are good to listen to, and there's good elements in every one for me. So I don't know that there's one that I like because there's two punk songs. There's a kind of two ballady type songs. There's rock. There's a heavy. There's a heavier one that's kind of a metalish, if you will.
Right on.
So there's a lot of different flavors on this thing, and that's
let's check one of them out. Which one would you like to?
Let's do this is a punky song. Which actually, this is one I gotta say.
Oh, the name of the album, really quick. I wanted to ask you really quick. How'd you come up with the name of it?
Good versus Evil is a track that's on the CD.
Okay.
And we were all mulling around the ideas, and I was throwing ideas at Chris as well. And he had mentioned you should call it Good versus Evil, man. That's just kind of cool. So I wanted to call it the name of the song. Another Side of Me was an option. And there was a couple. I just wanted to call it one of the tracks, and just decided on Good versus Evil's very cool, very appropriate because this whole album is about my life.
Cool.
All the words, every song.
Very cool.
And he caught that. It was funny. We were.
If everybody knows you well, that is a great That is a great title.
Yeah, right.
Nails it.
Yeah, you get a little bit of everything from me. A little good.
So tell us about this one you're going to play for us real quick.
This is a girl like you. It's a punky song, and it's this is one that actually Chris and I wrote together. I showed up at the studio, and I've been working all day, and I go, dude, I didn't get time to sit down and do anything. Let's write something. So we started throwing out riffs, but I went and wrote the words. It's a girl like you. It's about a wild chick that just shocks the shit out of you. It's one of those that, you didn't really know what you're in for until you're under the sheets. Until you're under the covers and you go, whoa, what the fuck? This is great. I can really make it with a girl like you.
Oh, let's check it out, you guys. A Girl Like You, Tony Noyes. A Girl Like You, man, that is totally cool. Yeah. All this stuff I hear from you, man, you do so many different types of stuff. You cover a lot of different genres, and it's cool.
Oh, well, thanks. That's I got to mention Dave Lansing was playing the guitar on that from the Christopher Shane band. And
Nice.
so
Very
he
Did a great
guested
job.
on that. Yeah,
Great
we also had
job.
Marty Lucas come in and do a song, and then
I was going to ask you who you snuck in there. I didn't want to give anything up until you offered up. So now I'm letting it all out. So
now just
come
dig,
on, open
dig.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Ennis came in and played one, and he's on Fast One, which you'll hear, and Marty Lucas played on No Fun, which we don't have. It's on the album, though.
Yeah. Oh,
which
yeah.
I have
absolutely.
for you there. There's a copy,
thank
sir.
you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a badass cover, too. This is really cool, Tony.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you, my brother. They're always
Sure.
awesome. I got such a cool collection of all the crap you've done, man. Not crap, but you know what I mean.
Crap.
After we've done it this long and there's piling up everywhere, it's like, oh,
It's a bunch
what
of
do I call
crap.
this anymore?
Dude, you should see my garage and my pile of crap.
I know.
The 700 CDs I haven't sold.
I don't want to go there.
Yeah. You know,
We all
it's a
have
labor
those
of love.
piles. I know. It's horrible.
Piles of crap.
When you get in there, what's your writing process like? I mean, which comes first usually for you, the lyrics or the music?
It's the chicken and the egg, Will. The chicken
Right.
and the egg.
Well, see, the chicken carries the lyrics across. Well, he's writing the lyrics while he's dodging the cars.
Crossing the road, and then the
His little
music
friends
comes
running behind
out.
him, tripping on the leftovers with a banjo. I don't know.
I'll tell you this.
What happens? Are they all different? Or?
They're all different. I have probably 50 little clips on my phone of me singing melodies that I still have to sit down and write with. I usually do the music first and then
Now
go
hold
back
on,
and
hold
write.
on. You just said something really cool that we can give some youngsters a tip, or even some oldsters who need a little tip here. All the little clips you have in your phone. So what you're doing is when you're out there and you get the idea, you're singing it right into your phone, so you don't forget it. And go home and work on it later. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay. Isn't that the greatest thing since sliced bread and
Sliced pantyhose.
there you go,
Yes.
edible pantyhose. Mm-hmm. Edible pantyhose. Yes.
Yes.
Almost the best thing since then. But yeah, that's totally cool because for how many times do we lay there in bed? Oh my God, the greatest song in the world! I remember it in the morning. No, you won't. Wrong.
It's
Sorry.
gone. Yeah.
Write it down.
Sometimes
Snap.
like that.
Even when you write it down, you still forget the melody. See, if you're snapping your finger and you're doing the little doon 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 in the background, at least you can remember half of what you want it to sound like, and then you're singing the lyrics with it. Oh my God, what a game changer!
You got lyrics, you got the melody, you got the beats per minute that you forget.
Yes,
I've done that where I'm like, God, what was the tempo of that one?
So remember that, kiddos. Everybody, remember
Do
that.
it. And another thing is interesting that
Never not write your idea down or sing it or anything, but get it down. If you can record it, it's the best way to do it.
I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to do an acoustic album next, and I started writing a lot of doing the melodies and the lyrics first, and I'm going to take some of the clips out of the phone,
Well, there you
which
go.
is a little more difficult to put the music to. You know, you come up with this crazy melody on. You know, you could sing anything and da 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 da, and usually writing.
Writing's going to come with the music to go behind it now.
Yeah, because when you do
It's like,
music,
well,
you
how am I
know,
gonna
a
do
lot
it?
of people sit and you go 4 of these, and then there's 4 of these, and then you go
Right.
2 of these, and then 1. And when you sing, you know, when I sing anyway, and I just start making up melodies, it goes to all different rhythms that can go anywhere underneath it. So there's some really different stuff that I think is, you know, when you could fit different music to it. It's a little more complex to do, but I think it's going to make for some interesting.
Yeah,
tunes. So,
it works though.
yeah.
You
So
know,
it's a little bit of
it
both.
works
That's a
for us,
long-winded
so,
answer
yes,
to
yeah.
you. I do it either way.
Now, out of all the songs that you've got on this album, is there any one that's got a crazy story or one that's too good not to talk about?
They're all crazy stories.
Are they all? Are
Every-
these all? No,
every one of
no,
them.
are these life stories we're listening to on here?
It's
or-
a solo album, my first solo
There you
album.
go.
So,
you're
yes.
pouring it out there. Okay,
There are some
cool,
issues that I
yeah.
need to get out in the open.
There
no.
you go.
No, you know,
Yes,
it's
issues need tissues, and all Tony's good at
yeah,
that.
right. I gotta
Sissy.
cry that shit out.
Sissy.
That's why it sounds like I'm crying on some of these songs and not screaming. I'm crying. I need a hug. Oh.
Get off me, 6 feet. 6 feet.
Oh,
Tommy,
fuck
6 feet.
6 feet. Fuck it. Fuck it. Sit on my lap, Santa
All right,
Claus.
fine. That's great.
All right,
Tell
so
me what you want.
no, really, the whole thing, dude. Another side of me is a song about being put in a drug rehab when I was young. I was smoking pot. That was my big drug.
Ooh, wow.
Ooh, I tell you,
You were
I
bad.
was selling school joints, and boy, my parents caught wind of it. My dad did, and long story. You got to listen to the song to figure that one out. And then I ended up.
Troublemaker.
Yeah, I got put in there and locked in this thing. Talk about your feelings, and we had to smuggle shit in. We were trying to smoke cigarettes in the bathroom with our hair dryers to light it up.
Oh, you guys are bad.
Oh, it was insane in there.
That's good.
If
So,
I
so
tell
you
you,
learned how to be bad when you got there. That
Right.
was good. You know,
Yeah, we
smoking
smuggled
weed,
shit
you came
in.
out of there and how to grow it and everything.
Right. Well, and then I broke out after a couple months, And yeah, I got out of there, got out on the streets, and got pretty high. And then I thought about it. I better go back. I have nowhere to go. So it was
hungry now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it's a crazy story. But when I got in there, I wasn't really a bad kid. I just kind of was creative. I wasn't good at a lot of things in school, but I loved science and art and those artsy fartsy things.
Yeah.
I came to math and
social studies. Well, that's the thing.
Like
You don't have any direction when you're young, and you wind up getting into crap like that, or into bad stuff and. Ooh, smoking your marijuana. Oh, give me a break with that one. But still, I just see a parent panicking over stuff. But there's so many kids that don't have a direction. They don't have anywhere to go. They don't do it, and the parents get lazy about it and don't do anything about it, and it's the kid's fault.
Well, that's the key.
Get them involved. Give them lessons in something, or get them involved in a club.
Get in their life.
Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, anything. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Just get in their life.
Get in their life. That's the bottom line.
Play catch. Just take them outside. Play catch.
And my parents, they were, They were divorced and they were into their own things, and that's just what it was. I'm going to go do this while you guys do whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
I love being a part of my kid's life. I did.
Oh,
I just said I'm going to be, I'm going to be involved with it, and I love the person that he is, and so that's where my story starts with. I mean, a lot of things that are on this album, and you go to fast ones about getting ripped off. Somebody pulled a fast one.
There you go.
And A Girl Like You, and there's Good versus Evil is each one has a little bit of something, and it may not be exactly my story, but it's something that happened in my life that I went okay.
Things that relate to.
Yeah, and then I expanded onto it to make a pretty meaty song that that sounds good and has good lyrics. So
I can't wait to hear the rest of it. You were like. You really hit this one well, I gotta tell you. You weren't getting nothing on here, buddy. Even when we had you on the other show, we were trying to tease you and get you in a bait, and you talking about anything with it. Oh, did you snub me on that one? I beat you up for that.
Yeah.
That was funny. No, but you did it good, man. Good discipline.
Hey, dude, I'm usually not like that. I usually just babble it all out. If I have a Christmas
Well, the funny
gift,
part was, no, but this was your solo. This was your baby. This was your, wait a minute. So I totally get it. I just think it's funny, but I'm not going to even let you get away without harassing you a little bit.
Well, sure, go ahead.
Otherwise, you wouldn't think I loved you anymore.
Of course.
All right, now check this out. You finally get it all done. It only takes you half your freaking life to get the nuts to do this. You finally do it. You bring it in the studio, and now you got to give this sucker life. You got to bring your Frankenstein monster to life. So what do you do first? What are you recording first? The drums, vocals, guitars, the songs different, or do you have a system that you swear by now in doing this? Or?
Well, it was Chris being the producer and engineer. He, we usually do. You either record to a click track or a drum beat.
Always use a click track.
It was a click track, and I'll tell you what, I went in there, I did the guitars first.
Okay.
So I had to write the riffs, and I went in there playing, and we had one session in there, the first session for recording the guitars, and he goes, "All right, go." And I'm playing, and he stops. "All right, you're pushing and pulling all over the place. Try again." And I'm like, "Okay, let's try." And mind you, I haven't picked up the guitar and really seriously played in 10 years. I was just a front man,
Right,
took me a while to drop the guitar and just work on my front man skills. I felt like naked at first.
Sure.
I'm like, where's
you
my
were
fucking
a busy
shield?
front man.
And and I had developed that. So now I'm rusty as hell. And I'm looking at and he's showing me the wave file. He's all, I don't suck that bad. What are you talking about? He's all, look at the fucking wave file. And I look at the wave file, and it's just all over. It's not even on the grid. And I'm like, I know I don't suck that bad. Give me a week. Let me go. So I went home, and
when you were done pouting, you started practicing.
I really didn't pout. I went into this. You had to go in there with an open mind if you're going to be produced. Bottom line, you can't go in there and get ready to get upset because he critiqued you.
Oh, I don't mean that pouting because of that. Pouting because you were lazy, didn't practice enough before you went in there. Now you got to.
I didn't have to pout.
I already pout. No,
I already knew, dude. I didn't have to pout.
So we had that clear.
I pouted, dude. I pouted all my life. It was time not to pout this time. You've got to do something different if you want a different result. Okay,
right.
So this was it. And
finally,
I got the fucking stick out of my ass. I'm ready to go.
Did you do guitar first on everything?
Yeah.
Was it hard to put the drums behind the guitar? I'll experiment and I'll do it a lot of different ways. I'll try this instrument first, this one, and it's funny because if I have an idea, depending on what instrument I start recording with, it changes.
Right.
It comes out so different because you'll hear something else. But do you normally do it that way, or do you usually do the beat first and then the bass?
No, I come up with the riffs and then first. Drums are put to the riffs type thing.
Cool.
Yeah,
But that's cool.
I mean, unless you have a really cool drum beat that is something like the beginning of Walk This Way or something distinctive, Tom Sawyer, or something where you know that beat is going to be noticed when you play just that drum beat. You know what it is.
Okay.
You know.
Sure.
So if that comes out, then you start with that, or you just keep it in mind. But recording-wise, no, it was guitars all the way through, drums, bass, or laid with it, and then vocals come, and then you go back and do all the backup vocals. I'm trying to think if the leads. Yeah. Oh, the leads were last. Yeah, lead guitars were last.
Yeah. That's the leads and all the little frills always going last.
Yeah, that's the cherry on the top of the whole thing.
That's the major part of it, and everybody's got to harmonize it or something. But yeah, and I do different things too. Like sometimes the keyboards will start it, but always with the click track. If I have a drum beat in mind, I'll sample it just for my click track.
Right.
It's more fun to use like the drum set instead, and then we'll go back and put the actual drums in later. But it's more fun to hear. Freaking tick, dude! I swear to you, it's like keeps me up at night. It's like, oh my god, I'm hearing in my sleep. Tick.
Well,
tick.
I'll tell you
I start walking in rhythm. I'd rather start shaking it to the actual drum beat if I have to listen to the same damn thing over and over and over for hours. I'd rather hear that than the click, click, click.
Yeah. Well, what I noticed though is I got a little more loose on the drum track. Because you kind of sway and you can push and pull.
Yeah.
And when I'm on cook, it was like I concentrated and everything that I played all the guitars and they're
stay closer.
They're pretty precise. And it took me a little work, to play exactly what I was playing, but you work on it.
That's it. And
I'm happy
everybody's got to find
results.
their comfort zone there. Yeah, and like you said too, you're all over the place with the one way.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really comfort. It was if you've seen the Metallica getting. Produced by Bob Rock. If you've seen that documentary,
yes,
it's not an easy process, and it's not a comfort zone. It's what Chris was really doing was taking me out of my comfort zone because I'll be honest with you. At times, I'm like, that's good enough. It fucking sounds good enough.
Yeah, that's why we have to have somebody in there telling
us
when to stop,
telling you it's
when
not
to go.
Good enough. Do it again and get it right.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you though, I had a great time with him. Though it wasn't like we got into big drawn out arguments, but you get into this little thing of I think it sounds better like that.
Let's hear another one.
Yeah.
What tell us about this next one here?
Well,
side of me.
If you're going with Another Side of Me, this is the
do you want to do that one next, or we could do Fast One? Whatever one you want to do next.
Yeah, Another Side of Me is fine.
Okay.
That's when I was talking about the drug rehab. So it's got the story behind the whole thing and the escape and what it is basically. And I think I was babbling, but it kind of brought out another side to me. It was already I wasn't a horrible kid. I just was making bad choices, but then this all of a sudden made me into a bad kid where I was ready to break out and hurt somebody to get out of where I was.
Gotcha.
And so it brought out another side of me.
Tough. I'm sure it did. Well, I'm glad I know this side. I know of you now. So I like this.
So you better be nice, motherfucker.
Another side of me, asshole. another side of me, another side of Tony Noyes that's here listening to right here on James C. Stark Radio. Dude, it's such an honor, man, to be the first person to get a hold of the new stuff and play it for you and play it for everybody. Thanks for sharing that through me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Really absolutely. Cool. Thanks for having me. Cool. You've always been, I think you're a staple and, a necessity for something like the Arizona music scene. I mean, really, you're a great outlet and you support a lot of artists and, hopefully you're appreciated by everybody. You're appreciated by me.
Thanks,
because, man, doing this is like, we needed somebody. We need somebody like that.
I love doing it. I love
supporting music and you're doing radio shows and it's just great, what you do.
We're having a blast, and it's always great to have you on. We've had just our third time on here, isn't it?
Yeah, third time.
And then we did Desert Detonation together, too.
Right.
The one time. That's right. We talked about that earlier when you were freaking teasing us to death. Oh, my God, Tony, you make me crazy. All right, so one day, you guys, we can't do it in our lifetime and probably our children's lifetime. So when our last kid of either one of our bloodlines decides that he's done, just because I want none of our families getting repercussions for this, we'll release our private feed that Tony and I have created, the most insane movie that will never be released. A script.
Right. Yeah. That's going to take... People won't even get it. They will, but they'll lock us away.
If you think you had to do acid to understand Pink Floyd's The Wall, oh, Lord.
Wait till you read this.
Horrible stuff. I've never been outranked in my life like that. It was great. And boy, did we give each other a good time. But I always have to bring that up because it is the big tease. Anyway, buddy, you do a lot of cool stuff. We're going to get into your film stuff a little bit, too, here. But before we even move on, where can we find all this awesomeness? Where do we get to see your videos? Where do we get to buy your music? Where do we get to see your films? Tell us about your website a little bit.
Yeah, you can go to TonyNoyes.com and... there's a lot of information about everything.
Oh, and for you newbies here, Noyes is Noyes, like no yes. Like you can't make up his freaking mind. Like another side of him, there's all kinds of no yes. So put no yes together, and that's his last name, Noyes.
Mr.
Noyes. Mr. Maybe. Here you go.
Mr. Maybe they call me. Yeah.
Maybe for short.
But yeah, so Noyes, TonyNoyes, TonyNoyes.com, and you can pre-order. It's available May 8th for download everywhere. It's going to be on Apple Music, on Spotify, on all those outlets. But you can go to my website and get the physical copy of the CD, and you can also order, the tracks there as well. And on May 8th, you can get those digitally as well. So, I'm just putting it on as many outlets as possible. But the physical CD is a cool thing.
Oh, it's so cool.
If you want to get the old-fashioned CD in hand, go there. Order it. I ship it out to you.
I love that. I still miss albums. I still have a pretty cool collection. I try to get some fun ones every now and then, but I just hate that I'm just going to plug in my stick and we're going to play all day. I'd rather have the nice stereo sound through the CD player, through, you know what I mean? And, or the album or whatever we're going to play with it. But, man,
artwork
stuff still kind of takes it. I was just going to
the whole thing, you're looking at the album while you're listening.
All the cool little writings in there, and who's involved and all the neat stuff and what it goes into to make one of these. That's half of it right there. All the artwork and stuff too. It's all a creation in itself. It's a work of art, just putting the package together as much as the art is inside it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it's cool.
And go ahead. Jinx!
Shut up now. Six fate, Tony. Six fate, Tony.
Say it 3 times. So, no, I was going to say, it's you would mention videos too. I'm putting together. I'm doing some music videos. I got those in the works. Probably start releasing those one at a time for each song in the album as we go along in the next however many months. And the artwork too. Chris Cotero helped me out with that. He's an artist as well. He played the bass, all the bass tracks on it.
Oh, cool.
And so he rocked that shit. And he's an artist. He does video editing. He's producing. He's a musician as well. Very talented dude. He does a lot of the same stuff that I do. So we're very much on the same page. It was like you get together and go, oh, let's fucking do this, and wow, a very creative dude. And
that's cool.
So he helped me with that, and he's like, here's kind of an idea, and I go, let me add this, and then he adds this, and so the whole thing is just kind of a joint effort,
uplifting and supporting each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sharing the ideas and being able to tell them when it's crap and when it's awesome.
Right.
And then he gets, dude, we can make this better or we can make this worse. What do you want to do?
Yeah. How do you want to do it? And then when we get done, and he goes, okay, now get the hell out of my house and kick me out.
What is the I know. You're gonna ramble on.
Go
Now
away.
he's going on a trip. Get the hell out of my house. We're finished.
Right.
Make me a sandwich on your way out there. I'm kind of hungry.
Oh, I'll make you a sandwich.
Get me all worked up with all this stuff. I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
All right. Now, while you're in the studio, what is the hardest thing for you in the studio? Like, which I don't want to say struggle or whatever. Like, what's the hardest thing for you to get through in the studio? Whether it be the guitar part or the vocal part, or just plug it in your chords, or getting there, or moving your gear. What's the toughest part? Hearing the playback, first couple crappy.
I don't think it's really hard. I mean, I had to work at the guitar playing, and then
we love doing it. But
yeah, so I don't really. There's really nothing.
There with that?
No, I don't think so.
What was the easiest part of it? Though? Like, what's the easiest part when you're laying down your tracks, or your buddy's coming and doing? Like, you're still directing in one aspect anyway. You still have that film part, director.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But what was the easiest part then? What flows the easiest for you in there?
All of it is just like, that's the reason. When I was a kid, I said I know what I want to do, and
So
I
now-
want to be. I love the studio. I love recording shit. I love playing live. I love touring. I mean, I did a little traveling with the tribute bands, and we were in this van, and I'm just looking out the window, going, "This is just the coolest thing." And some people go nuts sitting in a van for 8 to 15 hours,
Especially with the same people.
Yeah,
Day in,
same
day out,
people,
right.
and I'm going, "This is cool as shit." So I love the whole process. I mean, the guitar I had to work at, and then the voice. Vocals and that was something that I got to experiment with. Chris was helping out. He's producing it, so try it like this. Do a little more emotion on this part. So that opened me up to all of a sudden my mind goes. There's all these ideas pop up, and I start experimenting with the vocals and trying different things, and so it was all fun to me. The only thing, I don't. There's nothing that was really like hard or easy. It's just it all flows. It's just
That's
a thing.
good. Then that's how it
just
should
flows.
be. Yeah, but I have to ask, and you never know if there's a fun story in there of something crazy. What's like the biggest mistake you've ever made in the studio, error-wise? Like not coming up with enough cash to pay for the rest of it, or having to rush something, or just
it was never
hiring
my
the wrong
fault.
guy, or
Well, I'll tell you, I think.
you have to drop names on. I'm just curious, just out of curiosity, like if there was things. Trying a little educational part of our show.
Well, I tell you what, just expand. I mean, I've recorded a lot of stuff, and like I said, there was elements that I was like, this is good, but it's not here for some reason. Why is that? My performance is good. There's a lot of things. All I can really tell somebody is to do your, practice as much as you can, learn as much as you can. I remember reading an article that if you want to be a guitar player, you should learn not only the guitars to a song and learn how to play those, but also learn the vocals and how to play the vocals on the guitar.
Yes.
I thought, wow, what a waste. I'm not gonna. Why would I do that?
No.
Why? But you learn.
But you have to get in
You
there.
learn notes and how to connect them, and how there's so much to it that I think that was my biggest error, was just going, that's good enough.
Okay, speaking of vocal lines on guitar, who made a career out of that? Twisted Sister. All his guitar leads were the first 98% of it was always like the vocal line.
Right,
Crazy.
Nirvana too.
Another one,
Cobain,
right?
yeah. If he had a
Same
lead to
thing.
do, he'd go, fuck it, I'll just play
I'll
this.
do the verse again, but with the guitar.
Yeah, right.
Let's do another one here. Fast one. So somebody pulled the wool over Tony's eyes. What happened?
Somebody pulled a fast one. Oh man, God, we are going to get deep here, and I draw none of this for sympathy, because I know people tell their childhood stories.
Oh, I want to hear it.
And
Come
the next
on.
thing you
You're not
know,
gonna
people are
get
going, he's
sympathy
trying
from
to
these
get
guys
people to
anyway.
feel sorry for him, and I don't
My
need that
listeners
shit.
are brutal.
This is what made me what I am. But no, this was one. I
let's do
got
it.
boned. I was living on the streets, and I was trying to get some weed, and I scraped together enough money. I forget what I was doing or however I got that, but I got enough money to get together, and there's some guy on the road. He's like, oh yeah, and somehow we're talking, where to get some weed, and he goes, yeah. So I get a dime bag. Back in the day we had nickels and dimes and quarters, and so I gave him $10 or whatever to get some weed, and we kind of follow him down the road, and he goes, it's the house on the right. I go, okay, cool. So we go down. So I watch him go down the road, and he goes into the house on the right, and I'm like, all right. And I don't know this guy from Adam, but I'm waiting, and we're waiting, and I'm like, I was with somebody, I forget who it was, but waiting a long time. I go, motherfuck. So I go back there and I look at the house and we're looking around and all of a sudden I see the back gate is open to the alleyway.
Oh, shit.
So he went on the side of the house, jumped the fence and went out
And
the
just
alley.
kept
And
leaving.
when I go, where the
Oh,
fuck's
look
my
at
dime?
that. Oh,
Which I
this
actually
is
say
killing
in the song, where the fuck's my dime? Because that was one of those, damn, he got me good, man. I thought you really went in the house, you know?
Oh.
So those little things like that, you know,
Oh,
you get
yes.
taken, you never know when it's coming.
The
It's
street
hard to-
dealers, yeah.
Yeah.
Their little tricks of the trade.
Yeah. I went down. It was funny. When I lived in California, there was a place called the Drive-Thru, and it was an alley right next to Disneyland. And I would ride my bike down there, and these guys would just pop out and go, hey, you need a dime. And they had these big dime bags. Woo! $10, man. I was high for the next week. But, you know, that was the deal. It was all those little crazy things. So a lot of crazy stories like that.
Oh, let's hear it. Fast one from Tony Noyes.
Well, the world is filled with dirty tricks, trying to fix what I need. I'm making friends, hire a liar, bank off the kings and queens. Y'all know the fast one, rip me for flesh and bone. Give me the last one. Snakes full of venom, now you've turned it all to stone. Now I'm searching my sights in dark and daylight, like a fucking Houdini, quicker than the eye. Got your pockets lined, where the fuck's my dime? Guess I'll kiss it all goodbye. Y'all know the fast one, rip me for flesh and bone. Give me the last one. Snakes full of venom, now you've turned it all to stone. Now my hands are empty. It's goddamn so boring. Y'all know the fast one, rip me for flesh and bone. Give me the last one. Snakes full of venom, now you've turned it all to stone. Y'all know the fast one, rip me for flesh and bone. Give me the last one. Snakes full of venom, now you've turned it all to stone. Y'all know the fast one, y'all know the fast one, y'all know the fast one. You turned it all to stone. Y'all know the fast one, y'all know the fast one, y'all know the fast one. It's goddamn so boring.
Fast one from Tony Noyes. Dude, that sounds like it needs to be in like a soundtrack for a really totally awesome action movie.
It does. I think you're right.
It's so cool.
It totally
Right?
does. I
totally
agree,
think
man. I
it's
think
cool,
all
man.
of them should.
I know,
Ching.
right? I know.
It does. It's got
I'm
that
telling you.
really cool riff, groove riff that I remember I came up with. I'm like, all right, that's badass. I was going to make the whole song just that riff.
That is so cool.
And Chris is like, you probably should change it up to something.
Yeah,
in there.
right?
Something else other than you can't do
with that.
You can't do that for 4 minutes
I
straight.
know.
No,
It'd still be cool. Well, it depends if they're still selling ecstasy and having raves. That would fit right in.
It would,
Start
yeah.
doing the whole thing.
Just change the beat up.
Oh god, yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
We fit right in. But that's Mike Ennis on the lead. I got to give props to him. He did 2 songs on the album and just rocked it. And
You had a great cast, man. Great
Yeah.
crew in there with you. I got to call them a cast because that's what they are in here. That's wonderful. All part
Guest
of your, all
stars.
part of it. That's right.
Guest
It's
star
guest stars,
players.
Cast of awesomeness.
yeah,
I'm going to tease everybody with the last one. We're going to wait on that. I really dig the last one because we're going to take a left turn here really quick. Because, Tony, you have a whole nother side of your life. You're also
Other side.
awesome filmmaker, director, film writer, all the above. And you do some
thank
really
you.
cool stuff. And now that I have you in between movies, so we're not all stressed out on the whole shot, I thought I'd ask some kind of easy questions that are kind
Sure.
of fun without you having to hurt feelings or anything. I would never go there. I'm just teasing you. Okay, but seriously, okay, now.
Tell me how you really
we're
feel,
gonna go to the
asshole.
film thing. I know them, those dicks. I'm only kidding. What's harder now? And this could actually go on both of these things, so music and film. But getting the whole project started or keeping it rolling once it's started.
for film.
First, yes. There's so much.
It's
to
yeah.
do. I mean,
There's just so many
much.
moving parts. There's not.
Right.
It's a constant thing. You know, I guess when I look at it, I look at it like there's going to be problems. There's going to be
Right, we have
people
to
that
look at it
that
that
didn't
way,
that
yeah.
don't show up to the film, that don't show up on set, that you might have to replace, that you might have to reshoot, you might have to do some ADR work because the sound didn't work. So I already go into it knowing that's going to happen or expecting it.
Right.
So that way, and I've seen a lot of directors just freak out when that happens. Oh my God, I can't believe we did well, or out of focus. You get, I'm editing a feature film right now called The Dark Side of Opulent 3, and I had a small role in this one and in the previous one. It's a trilogy.
Okay.
But there's parts that sometimes the camera didn't focus when it was supposed to, and as myself as an editor, I have to find those parts and cut to something that works. But there's
But
no.
as a
there's
director,
no,
though, what's
It's all hard. I mean, it's a challenge.
I know
And
what you have to go through to do this, and God, that would take hours to explain how much shit actually goes on just to put the cast together. That's just one little part of it. That's probably the easiest part because all the location crap, all the permits, all the shit you got to do.
Right.
And then you got to, once it's rolling, now you got to get everybody's schedule on time. This isn't one show. This
Yeah.
is an ongoing thing for months.
Yeah.
That could go on for weeks to months to whatever, depending on what you're doing. So it's both as you're pulling your hair out. If you had to choose, I hate to say this, okay, but we're holding it upside down. We got the scissors to your gonads, and they're gonna snip it if you don't answer the question. You got to choose: setup or keeping it rolling through the whole production. What's harder, getting it going or keeping it rolling?
if you're gonna clip the nuts,
We're gonna clip the nuts. Just
Wow.
out of curiosity, what would you say? Not letting you off easy on
I
this
would
one.
say it's all about the same difficulty, but I think probably getting you started because you have a script, you have cast that you have to audition. And all that. Getting location, that's more of a difficult thing, and to get all just writing the script is something to get started. If you put put that into getting started, and that's probably one of the most difficult
That's
things.
probably it right there.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right. And that could go both. We could have the debate all night long about it, but I agree it is. But I was just curious if you had to make a choice.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. Now, when you're pretty, you go through your cycles like a lot of artists do. We have our awesome times, and we have our dark times, and we've got our times where we're totally inspired, other times like, I just don't give a shit today.
Right.
When you're sapped out, energy's gone, this and that, but you want to create something. What do you do to get that back up in you? Where do you find your inspiration for your next film or project?
Well, I'm not forcing anything. So if I am in a funk of not feeling like creating something or it's not flowing, I don't. But
Because I know you're more of an inspirational artist. I know that.
Right.
You're not a 9 to 5. I'm going to force myself to do this.
Right.
We've known that because that's what we have in common. I think the most. That's
Yeah,
why we have our
I can't.
roles.
I'm
I
just
can't
not
do it
me.
either. If
I
it's
can't
not
put on
there,
the
I can't
suit
force
and
it.
go,
Right.
yeah.
And you certainly can't.
Well,
too.
but I'll be honest with you. On this album, there was times when I was scheduled to go in and record, and I didn't have something, so we sat down and recorded something. So I was under the gun. A lot of the times, it was like, shit, I got a week. I don't have anything, and it flowed pretty well until the last few songs because all of my ideas came out in the first. There's 9 songs, so the first 6.
You're ever gonna finish this damn thing? You kept coming up with more stuff and this and that. I could just see you when they're trying to decide what's keep and what's not, or what we have to write now because couldn't get it done this week because nothing was there.
Yeah, everything. It was great because I brought in songs and they were like, they were winners. He wasn't going, all right, that sucks. Because if it was bad, he'd go, yeah, you got to get rid of that or get rid of that part or get.
That's why we gotta have guys like that.
People.
Anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So that all went pretty good. So with films, I'm just kind of just working on music. I'm editing a film. I'm learning. So I may not be creating right now a film, but I have ideas.
No, but you're still doing.
But I'm still doing.
Well,
stuff.
that's the whole thing. We have a whole bunch of steps to take as creators, as entertainers. I say creators because that's what we do. We create cool things. We're
Right.
always entertaining.
Where you're creating.
We create something to entertain with, whether it's ourselves or everybody else. But that's just in us.
Right.
So you go through these steps, and there's the process of not doing anything, where you have to just sit and just kind of take in everything around you and let it kind of sort the story out or experience something new or have something inspire you. So just because we're down doesn't mean we're not doing anything. We also have to do our study part too. We have to live our life in order to experience what we can create next.
Yeah. Well, if you're preparing a dish and you have this piece of meat you're going to cook up in a dinner, and sometimes you got to let it marinate. So you throw it in there and you let it marinate. Right. It seems like you're not doing anything, but it is. There's something happening.
Right.
And then you cook up the feast at the end. Yeah. So
what's in our films here now? This is fun. What is the one mistake? Because I can tell you mine. What's the one mistake most filmmakers make, regardless of experience? What do you think?
I think the consistency, the editing, continuity. Sometimes when I'm watching a film, when I'm watching somebody else's, if I see the car, they get out of the car and close the door, and the next shot the door's open, you go, fuck.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah,
that bothers me. But I think those are
even down simple things down to like, forgot to bring the extra batteries for the camera that the batteries or stupid little things like that. Everybody makes dumb mistakes like that too. But the continuity, that's a big one.
When I get behind there and start editing, and that's when I see.
Do you use a second director for that, or do you handle that in yours too?
I haven't gone all out on the feature yet, so I've just been experimenting. My films, to be honest with you, Dead West is just the first 15 minutes of the feature, which I haven't even attempted to touch without the right amount of money or backing because it's going to be huge.
So cool though. God, my fingers are crossed for that one. That was so awesome.
Yeah,
Claus was killer too.
Yeah, Claus was fun too. But that one probably should have just went all the way to a feature. It's at 43 minutes.
Yeah,
anyway.
you should have just finished that one anyway.
Yeah.
But you told me the story about it was supposed to be 15 minutes.
15, 20 minutes.
And then it just kept going and going and going. And how many do we have of those sitting on the shelves too like that?
Right.
Like, oh man, I can't wait to show this one too. But God, yours are just so cool. I just love the fact that you're able to do it all. Because we finally get to the point that we're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna try them. I have to learn everything about it anyway, especially if you're gonna direct it and all that stuff, so you can have a conversation with the editors and everybody else. So you have to learn your.
Well, and I'll tell you, the
like
feature.
A conductor in the orchestra, you still have to understand
all the music and every part.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's what the feature. When I go for it, I don't want to be the only one doing it all. I want to hire people like this album. This is not. I hired a producer. I hired other people to play on it.
Yeah. Oh, it'll make you nuts by yourself, and then you'll never finish it anyway. It's like it's never good enough, or you just don't have enough drive that day. You don't have someone's foot in your rear end. You don't have someone to light the fire, or you just like, oh, it's too much for me today.
It's too
and
much
I don't know where to start today, and it's overwhelming. So it's always something there.
Well, something that you could get done a little quicker.
We're kind of talking about this right now. How do you know when it's time for the story to be done? Like when do you walk away? Like how do you know this is done now? I can step back from it. You can't do it alone, can you?
I've never had had a problem with the films.
No, I mean
as far as films,
like
stepping away.
It. Yeah, like finishing. Well, like Claus, you couldn't finish it. It took you the 15 turned into 43 minutes.
Oh well,
studio. You had to have.
Well,
a
it wasn't really.
That's what I mean.
I see.
Yeah, not to stop it. Like walk away from it done. I mean, like when do you walk away from the project saying it's finished?
Well, here's the thing. Claus was meant to be 43 minutes. It just was. Because
There was no way you could have put
so
that
when
in 15
here's my
anyway.
thought is initially it's 15, 20 minutes, but when I start writing it, I go, okay, it's going to be longer. There's no way I can do. I knew that.
Gotcha.
So do you compromise the story and cut shit out, which
Never.
they do a lot.
I
in
know, but that
Hollywood.
sucks.
It does. So I go, you know what? I'm just going to make it, and this is what it's supposed to be. Now, however, some of the details and shit you walk away from, but those are the continuity issues and the things that I see in other people's films. All of a sudden, they go, "Fuck it, that's good enough." And
Yeah, at one point you decided, I don't have
think-
a clump of hair left to pull out.
Well, there's a
So I
happy.
need to-
I can't watch
or
the
is
film.
there-
I can't watch the film and see something that there's an error in without fixing it and letting it go.
Right.
If I'm not happy with it,
Well, yeah,
I
just
can't.
like your
I can't
music
release
the same
it.
way, because
Right.
you're always going to hear it, or you're always going to see that. You're always going to know that issue.
Yeah, but there is a point you can't go on forever trying to. You know, I think like let's put Axl Rose in Guns N' Roses doing
There you
20
go.
years for an album. I think he just wasn't happy with himself and what he was creating, which is
Sure,
why he
that
went.
makes sense.
It's not good enough. My voice isn't good enough on that. It's not good enough. That's where it lies. I think you have to be able to let go and say, the imperfections. Which I was helped with being produced because I was going,
Right.
that didn't sound perfect. It wasn't perfect pitch. And he goes, those imperfections help give it character and make the song what it is. Those you need to keep those in. So that helped, and I already knew that with my films, but I didn't with my voice and my music. But
Okay.
that helped me to back away and go, all right, fuck it, it's good enough.
Yeah, that's-
I'm not it's good enough, but I don't want to over.
That's it. That's just where it
critique it.
ends. Yeah, because if
Right.
you don't, then you'll wind up overwriting or screwing up even more. It'll take somewhere else.
If you don't think it's good enough and you keep trying, right?
That's crazy.
But yeah.
With all this stuff, we've seen that before, we've heard this before. How do you come up with your new ideas? What is that? How do you keep things fresh? Because you come up with some pretty cool stuff.
I appreciate that.
Undead in the West was cool. You took a whole bunch of different stuff from all kinds of different things.
Right.
Well, I could talk about it now, right? Because it's been out there.
Sure,
long.
sure, and I'm gonna release
We got
the thing.
the fun comedy western aspect with the undead and just the funny dialogue, the stuff that you're doing, just pantomime. And you point to your head and hand on the gun and
Right.
Stuff like that is so cool. But how you mixed all that up together, and then you did the soundtrack for it, and man, and then you did like CG effects in this one, and you did a lot of cool stuff. Where do you come up with your ideas? Like, how do you stay ahead and try to keep fresh?
Yeah, I don't know. They're just ideas that I have, and I just do what I see. And to you, might look at it and say, "Wow, it's fresh and new, and that's cool." And I've had a write up on that somebody was there watching it at the film fest, and they said it's not a really good movie, and there's quite a bit of CG effects in there, and they should have just done a western. See, their opinion is different.
They get paid to be an asshole.
Well,
whatever.
and they do, but
But
you know
they
what?
do.
If you think about it, look at
But they're just
some of the.
brutal. But I get it though. But no, it's still cool.
You have to
though. I mean,
you have to
did it-
understand that some people aren't going to like what I do. I understand that, or what you do, or anybody does. I don't like what you do, but I'm here doing it anyway with you. You sound like shit here,
Yeah, right.
but I'm here. No, really.
so bad,
No,
I
what
know.
I'm saying, I know.
No,
I gotta
I
give
get
you
you.
shit.
Oh, I
too.
know you
But
have
what
to.
I'm
We
saying
have
is,
to.
like,
We have to
if
do
you think
that.
of the amount of
That
albums
keeps it
sold,
fun.
even by Michael Jackson, who is like the king of pop, and he's got great music and awesome shit, but what he sold is only a sliver compared to billions of people on the planet. So he didn't appeal to everybody.
Sure.
If you really
Sure.
love, I sold
that's
3
true.
million albums. That's a great thing. Well, there's 8 billion people on the fucking planet. You really only
Right.
sold
That
a
little bit.
fucking
Yeah, that's
small
true.
amount.
Yeah,
So you have to
think about
understand that just take in what what people do like about it. So when I come up with something, I have to like it, or else I wouldn't. Why would I try to write something that's people are going to like? It drives myself crazy if I try that. So I just try to, I'll be honest with you, they just manifest. These things are just ideas musically, along with films. They just come up and
They pop up.
They pop up, and I
the
just run with it.
inspiration.
Yeah, and then I just build
that's
on
the
it.
fun-
It leads to something else, and it leads to let's do a zombie where they're not afraid. These guys are gunslingers in the Old West. They see
Yeah.
somebody pop out of the ground dead. They don't give a fuck. They're going to shoot them, and they're going to go.
ping.
Yeah, so it's something
Another
different.
one. See what that one tastes like.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's funny. What
Sorry to give you
I love it. No, I love when you do though, man. I like how I just kind of like tune them out. I'm like, I've heard your crap so many times.
Right.
I'm like,
Right. Everybody
Oh,
knows
I'm
how
just
to tune
kidding,
me
buddy.
out.
Oh, it's funny. What would you think is like the most important quality for a director to have when he's in?
Vision, I think. You have to see the film from beginning to end. Shots, the edit. Of course, it becomes a different film when you do it, but every time I've made a film, it's been very close to what I saw and what I wrote. And I'll tell you what, I have the greatest people that I work with, in the, Good Stew Productions has helped me with Claws and Undead in the West, and their acting in it and everything. And after a couple of films together that they worked with me, I did one that was fully on a green screen. And the actors were like, what am I looking at? I go, look at this.
Right.
You know how they do that.
Sure, yeah.
So I have to see the whole thing. And
you have to take what you have in your head and project that to them and fill them up with that.
They have to trust me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I love about all the people who have been in my films, because
them.
they're like, I don't understand what you're doing right now, but I know you know what you're doing.
So
I know you have it in your head.
Right, you
so
they gotta have that trust.
At the end, they go, I had no idea why you wanted me to do that, but now I get it. And it might be something silly that I direct them with. And, I think that's the best quality for a director. You need to be able to allow, not only direct them, but allow your actors to bring themselves into the role. What they bring what they have. Just put them up to bat and let them swing with what they're doing. So
yeah.
I kind of let them ad lib, and I'm not
sure.
really drilling them. I just kind of here's
you
your
never
lines.
know what's going to happen too. You might get gold out of that too, and they just start whatever comes off the top of your head at that moment.
Yeah,
just fit right in before.
Roll with it, run with it.
And you're like, why didn't I think about that in the script? It's like, God, they just nailed it, perfect.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of, I write it this way in the script, but they feel more comfortable delivering the line this way.
Yeah,
and
if it works, it works. That's what it's about.
It develops their character, and they brought it, and I love that. So I think also
I love when they come to life too, and that character comes to life, and it just grows through the whole show too.
Absolutely.
All right, I got a couple more for you here in the film. These are more for educational listeners or kids that are listening for Tony because they're your fans. They want to learn from you here.
Which I love you. Love you all.
All right, now,
by the way, all you fans.
How do you handle this situation? What would you suggest? You have your whole cast is wonderful, but you've got the one diva, for lack of a better word, because, whatever, the disruptive one, the unprofessional one that is bringing it down. They're the one that could really nail the part, though. That's why they got the audition, but now that they're there, they're acting like a complete chode and screwing up the entire production for everybody else. How do you handle that person? How do you get them back in? Do you let them go? Do you talk to them? How do you get them back to reality?
I think you try to work with them as best, as I can. They got to be in it for the role. I've always been very, well, let's put it this way: if they're already on it, you're there. I don't have time to fool around because it costs a lot of money.
Right.
To pay for location, I'm paying the people there. I'm paying actors. I'm paying the DP, cameras, everything to be there, lights, sound, and so I don't have time for somebody to do that. It just ruins everything. So I'm not real good with that in my life. I kind of allow people, I'll give them a lot of rope.
Give them a lot of rope, but
to
don't
hang themselves in the end,
or
whatever. They walk all over me quite a bit.
It's not to make you a cowboy. This is to hang yourself if you don't knock it out.
Right.
But no, you got to let them have their feeling. I understand.
But this one,
freedom, if they're going to screw that up, yeah.
This one, I'll be honest with you. It's kind of, I try to work with them, but I can tell early if it's not going to work out. And rewrites in the script happen all the time. So we may do the next shoot going, you know what, we're going to jump to the end where you get shot. We're going to put that in this part. And I'll get them out of the movie right there. I mean, it'll be, I'll add it in.
As quick as you can. And
I just, you got your gun, or, I mean, here's your...
Put in a double, shoot them from the back if you need them in another screen.
Right. I'll tell you what, dude, I had people that didn't show up, and I put another guy in the clothes and shot him from the back, and he's running after the horse in Undead in the West.
That's how it is.
And it wasn't the actual actor, and... but you got to deal with that, I think, on some. I haven't run into a problem.
I've done a few. I haven't even had the actors in the same room. I know this has happened a lot, but they've never even met each other before the movie came out because they never had any. Their dialogue was just across a room, or it was sitting next to each other at a table. There was just one. It was just one shoulder shot, over the shoulder shot, back and forth, and neither one of them were in the scene at the same time. And it worked.
It does.
But a lot of people have done that. I mean, I got the idea from looking at I can't remember his name now. It'll come to me later. It's not important now, but he's a really good filmmaker. He's an indie filmmaker from years ago. He only made a few good ones before he stopped. I mean, he only made a couple good. He only made two, but they were both good. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And he just stepped out.
Yeah.
But I remember reading a bunch of stuff like that and how he had done that in the scene. And then years later, I had that problem, and that came right to me. I was like, I got to try this. was really cool. And,
Yeah.
You know, I had
There's
him
a
in
lot
the
of
same
those
room,
tricks.
but not at the same time.
Right.
So
Yeah, you have him
one
on that
person-
chair and
Yeah,
then you
one
shoot from
person's
the other
asking
way.
is doing one part, and the other person's getting filmed, and then we
Right.
just edit it out. And, yeah, it was
Totally
weird.
works. Yeah,
Have you
there's
done stuff like that?
There's
I mean,
a
you've
lot of
done
ways to
extras
do
and
that.
things, and-
Yeah, there's a lot of ways. I've done a lot of tricks to make it work.
Yeah, because you pull off some
You know.
cool stuff in there. I was just wondering. I know he's got a whole bunch of stuff. All right.
Yeah.
One more now. Okay. Can you tell me like a time you've made like a huge mistake, an error doing like putting all this stuff together where it like really screwed up the production a bit, but you're able to rectify it?
Well,
it's
I'll
always
tell you.
something you learn something from it. Obviously, but
My-
we all make it. We all make errors. But do you ever have? Did you ever a big one? You know?
My the biggest error that I made was on the movie Claws, and I was drinking heavy at the time. And I'm sober. May 8th, when the album comes out, is 3 years for me. So
Nice.
the album comes out on 3 years after I put it down. But I was drinking a lot, and I had a party night the night before. I was kind of doing it every night, but this one was a little bit harder. And I knew I had a shoot in the morning. People were depending on me. They're out on the set. I get up, and it's one of those where I didn't charge the camera. I didn't have this ready. I didn't. So I'm scrambling, and I dart out the door, and I don't have the extra battery.
You don't have anything. Oh,
And I didn't have the charger. I didn't have shit. And I ran out the door, and I'm stinking like booze. And I go, God, I just fucked up. And I drove for 30 minutes out there, so I had to drive all the way back and then get all this stuff. So I'm an hour or something, a couple hours late, and they're waiting for me. And I felt just like an idiot. And and then we get there, and the performance, wasn't there. It wasn't happening. The whole shoot was a scrap.
Well, yeah,
And-
you're not there, so how can they be there?
Right,
You gotta get 'em
exactly.
in
And I
that
learned
mood,
from
yeah.
that was something that everybody's dependent on what I was doing, and it just the whole thing, it just went all,
Yeah, you're still conducting a type of orchestra.
Yeah,
you're
you
still
can't do it
conducting
with a
You're the
hangover and a
director,
fuzzy
you're
head.
conducting
It
your
just-
cast, and the director, you can't do that because they're reflecting off you. But see, that was a good one because how many times we're going to have a cast party tonight, or we're going to do this or that? It's like they got to shoot at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
That's
you got to be
that's when
responsible.
you got to be there. You got one
Yeah.
at midnight, or you got one here. So
As an
that's
actor
pretty
or
wild.
as a DP or whoever, you just can't do that anywhere. There's a time and a place for that. When the movie's done, or you have a couple days off, then you can,
There you go.
But yeah, I learned from that one. I said I will never. The looks in their faces. It was just like I went. I don't like when somebody holds me up. Yeah, God,
you're
big
like,
boo boo
it's
right
on me
there.
now, because I've been bitching at everybody since now.
Yeah.
I fucked the
So I
whole
said, "You
thing
guys
up."
want a beer?"
Like,
I
wow.
brought a 12
Yeah,
pack.
I brought
I
a
brought a 12
everybody.
pack.
If not, here, wring out my shirt. There's plenty of my sweat from yesterday. Oh man!
Right.
All right, so thanks for letting me take that turn with you and bringing us into your film life a little bit there.
Sure.
That was cool. We're going to come back into music now. I have one more question for you. We talked about the studio and everything. What advice would you give to someone who's going into the studio for the very first time?
Well, I would say, like we talked about, producer.
Be prepared.
Well, I think if you're going in for the first time, you're just experimenting, kind of like at my Claws film and the films. I did the 5-minute, 24 or 48-hour film challenge. Those things are kind of just practice for when I do my
Gotcha.
feature.
But I'm talking about...
And what I'm saying
That
is,
is me. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I do have a point. At the end
Oh,
of
I'm
the
sorry.
story.
I'm
If you'd
sorry.
actually just let me make it.
She's
No.
going to start again. They got to read our feed.
Anyway, I guess those are kind of practices. So what you're saying is if somebody's young and they just want to go in and make music and do it the very first time, you can go in being serious about it and make something very, very professional that you have a goal with it, and you hire a producer to help you. You're going to spend some money. You're going to buy studio time, but go in and just... and you have to have an open mind and allow those people to tell you if it's good or bad. I think musicians have the hardest time, us as musicians, being told that is not something good that you just created. And it's kind of personal. It may not... you see it all the time on, American Idol. Those people go in there singing. And I put it like this. The analogy is maybe they're not a good enough basketball player to play on the NBA. You might love basketball.
Right.
You might go out and play every weekend with your friends, but you just don't cut it to play in the NBA. So what are you going to do? Either you have to know your limitations, or you might not be able to play the keyboard, so get somebody else to play it for you in there. Or you might need help with songwriting, or you might need help, or
Know your
work harder.
limitations, but push your limitations all the time. But be realistic.
Right. I was going to say work harder to reach in the NBA, but you might never be chosen because, but always work towards getting to that goal. So have an open mind with your music going in, but the producer or the person that's giving you the feedback, you have to respect what they have done. You have
to trust them.
You
too.
have to listen
and you
to their
understand
music.
that's what their job is. That's what they do.
Right.
You're the musician. They're the producer. Listen to what they say.
But you have to like what they're doing. Do your research on the producer.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's
don't
not
pick
your
some
best
guy that's
friend.
doing reggae.
Yeah, when your buddy goes, "Oh, dude, cool, you're going to the studio. Can I be your manager, man? Can I be your producer? Can I do this and that?"
Right.
You're like, "Yeah, sure." We had no idea what the hell we're talking about. Yeah, let's go do it.
Right.
You need to research.
Yeah. Get somebody that you listen to what they produce, and you go, "Holy shit, that's amazing."
That sounds
that's
great.
The guy
That's
that
the guy
I want to work. That's the guy I want to work with. Yeah, you have to hear. You just don't grab anybody. But that's what I would say. Go in, or you got the other guy that just goes in creating, having fun. And if you're going to do that, sit on your computer and just make shit up. Just experiment and have fun and make songs. And some guys go viral from that. Nowadays the kids are on their computer just creating sounds, and they put stuff out, lay some vocals on it. And it's huge. It's a huge hit. So you never know. So you got to kind of have a direction. Do you want to make something, very serious and something that's going to push your limits, or you can sit and create it at your home, and do it that way for fun. And or you can do it serious. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Just your end result is try to push yourself.
Yeah, that's
try to get better, as you go.
Great advice, all around. That was good. Kind of covered it all there.
Thanks.
Let's check out Wings of Gossamer, dude. I've been teasing everybody on the show now. Now they got to hear it. This is wild. This is a
fun song.
This is a ride, man. This is like a whole tale. This is cool.
This is a great song that I brought into it when I wrote it. And what I would do is I would record these songs at home and then send them over to Chris, and he would listen to them. And
would he give you the yay or nay?
Well,
right off the bat, or
I'll tell you what I
work on this, or
what I did is I kind of have this thing of it's just my own challenge to myself.
Okay.
I gave him a bunch of pieces of songs and some riffs that I wrote and was singing some already finished songs from previous projects, and he kind of went, "Yeah, I like a piece of that song, and this could be revamped into a cool song," which pretty much told me a lot of it was crap. And I said, "Okay," but he liked the heavy stuff. So when I went in there and with my first song, and he gave me those pointers because he was trying to help me with this song, it clicked for me on, fuck, this is what he's talking about. And then this is what he's looking for. Yeah. So I went home with my goal to write songs that he listened to as well, and went, dude, that's a good song. That's So I didn't want to hear, hey, that was no good. But there was parts in there that I wrote vocals to, and he goes, yeah, you need to just scoot that and write something else. There was shit like that. Or he'd say, why don't you try it like this? And we tried different things, but there was nothing that was like, that's no good. I knew that from the beginning, that what he was going to say, this was no good. So I started from scratch, and I wrote 9 songs back to back, and they all are on the album.
Good deal.
And
tell us where Wings of Gossamer comes from.
Wings of Gossamer is a crazy, takes you on a trip. It takes you on a journey.
Definitely
on
does
a plane
that.
ride.
Yes.
Is basically what it is. It's on the wings of gossamer, which gossamer is very frail, frivolous, like the wings of a butterfly.
Okay.
And it's about taking a trip that doesn't end well if you have paper wings, basically. So we got very experimental. I had kind of some offbeat, crazy riffs, and I loved it because I shot it to him, and he listened to it, and he goes, "Okay, let me play that again. I got to understand what you're doing here," And I knew I had him on some stuff because I was getting kind of crazy and techy with some of it, technical with it. And it was fun, but so he had to listen to it a few times, and he goes, "Yeah, that's cool," and I think this is one of his favorites as well.
Yeah, I think this.
It turned out really cool, and he does some shit on the bass in this that he follows the lead. I gave him this lead that I kind of gave him the track, like, here's what I want to do. He goes, "What's up with that lead in the middle of it?" And I go, I was fucking around writing some different stuff. He goes, "We're not touching that. Do you have that? You could send me, and we're gonna." So that's the actual lead that I came up with fucking around. Cool. And he put it in the song, and he wrote his bass around that, which makes for a very interesting metal section that I think everybody gets to listen to now, and I think you'll find it crazy.
Well, let's check it out. Wings of Gossamer, Mr. Tony Noyes.
They said, through the stratosphere, upon frivolous fear, in vain my tears are shed. Unwanted turbulence, unavoidable, gulls in the hall. Decent, I believed in you, the impact overdue. I'll never trust you again. Fly, you got me feeling so alive. On the wings of gossamer I fly, crash to the ground from broken skies. On the wings of gossamer I die. I sit in disbelief in this field of debris. I sit in disbelief in this field of debris. I sit in disbelief in this field of debris. I sit in disbelief in this field of debris. Fly, you got me feeling so alive. On the wings of gossamer I fly, crash to the ground from broken skies. On the wings of gossamer I died.
That one, yes, awesome. Wings of Gossamer, sitting here with Tony Noyes. Now, got to talk about this. Your vocals are everywhere, and I mean, like, the range you do so much with them. Like when you did like your covers and stuff. When you let's just go all the way back. When you played on my birthday last year, and you played like something from like every genre, and you sing just like that dude from
All right.
from every single freaking one you did. It's so cool. I mean, still you, but you can emulate so many different people. Now, when you're doing all your solo stuff now, and you've done other stuff with other bands too, but now you let out like all kinds of stuff that I haven't heard before. And like you're doing these different harmonies, and I like to do my own harmonies in the studio. A lot of singers do. It just sounds the most natural. But when you have like the Beatles or something, they all have the different voices. It just kind of came together.
Right.
And the other bands that do that as well. But the way you did that, every voice sounds like a different person. You still tell it's you. If you're
Right.
Tony's voice. But one voice is like soft, and the other one's a little harder edged in that middle, and then the other one's even pushing it higher. But it sounds like three different people singing it in those harmonies and stuff. Is this just all part of the experimental thing? Is this?
It's something.
This sounds like there's a lot of different singers on this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, that was
through all of them. It's pretty cool.
I've always loved that, and that was a plan going into this, and any other albums that I've done. If you listen to, there's a lot of that going on because Axl Rose probably captivated me on that the most when he did. I heard "Welcome to the Jungle," and then we go to next thing I know, I hear Mr. Brownstone on the radio. I'm thinking, is that the same band? How is that guy going from screaming these highs all of a sudden to Mr. a completely different voice?
I know he was all over the place.
That just it impressed the hell out of me. And then he came out with like Patience, and it was a totally different voice. He didn't get that big heart. He was more of a soft, subtle voice, and so that impressed the shit out of me. And so I've always kind of that was the idea for this one, to have some kind of punky vocals, some kind of rougher vocals, some clean. But, you know, in doing so, going in and being produced and asked to try it like this and put a little more personality than this. And
Just gonna ask you, how many times did he put you through these vocal tracks?
yeah, it wasn't bad, you know, but it was enough to get it to where it was right. Yeah,
Should have been there.
there was no, yeah, if I was off, I felt it, and if I was on, I felt it. And then sometimes I felt like I was off, and he goes, no, that's fucking great. He goes, I think, and I go, play it again. You know, there's a couple, I'm like, no, that's off, and he goes, no, it fucking sounds good.
Now, like on average, how many happy accidents did you have vocally throughout all these songs? Like, where you went in with the one idea, this is what I want the harmonies to sound like, and all of a sudden you did something a little different just for the heck of it, and it came out like, oh, I want to keep that.
There's the whole thing is a happy accident.
Nice,
the whole vocal
nice.
thing is a fucking happy
Yeah,
accident.
Bob
so-
Ross painting all in one.
Yeah,
song.
it is. Yeah, I'm going to
That's
use the fan
good.
brush here, and then we're going to use the knife
Dude,
to
that is
create
so
a.
cool.
But no, you know, there was the neatest thing about
I
it
love
is
when that stuff
collaborating.
happens.
Like I said, if you get a producer that you are impressed with, that impresses you, and like he has ideas that I would have never thought of on some of those.
Real quick,
on not only the mains, but on some of the back, most of the harmonies. He's like, well, try this. And he came up with some odd notes that I would have never chose, you know? So then I went, oh, that's really cool. And then we tried it, and then we listened, and sometimes it wasn't cool. Sometimes we went, oh, God, that was, yeah,
That's what happens,
let's
though.
try something else. So the whole thing is just, you know, a collab. It's a experiment. It's you know, I may have had this skeleton structure for vocals on there, but it just morphed into something really cool.
I can't wait to hear the rest of it, because you teased me so bad with this. You played me a little bit of this song, a little bit of that song. For months you've been doing this to me. So now I have the whole thing in my hand.
Yeah.
That thing skips. I'm going to your house later.
There's nothing on it.
And
You know when you buy a package of CDs and that little clear one, that transparent
Yeah,
one's like,
right?
that's what the fuck's in there.
Fucking tease. Oh, you're such deep shit.
I've been
If you
wanting
do
to-
this to me now. Oh,
I've been wanting to do this
No,
because
this is so cool, though.
yeah.
I can't wait to hear the whole thing, all of them. There's that one song. That chorus is still in my head. I cannot wait to hear the whole thing. You know it's what I'm talking about.
is it the all fucked up one that I played for you? Yeah.
Yes, that was great.
That is a poppy. It's happy. It sounds happy, but the lyrics are.
I
I'm
know.
all fucked up again.
Oh man,
So,
it was,
you know,
I can't wait to hear the rest of that.
it was fun. I hope you
So
like
what's,
it. Let me know.
when the plague is over, what are your plans? What are you gonna do? You gonna start doing some shows and?
Well, I don't think the plague's going to be over. See, I think this is a new world order that's going to
Yeah.
take everybody over, and we're going to be microchipped, and we're going to have
That's it,
we're going to
right?
have digital currency, and the space aliens are
shit.
coming down. We have Space Force, and we're going to start a war.
You know, they're writing that comet that's on its way to hit us.
We're gonna, exactly. So that's where that's going to happen. But I'm going to be on the
Meteor
face
aliens.
of that comet, playing my guitar, writing fucking music all the way in. But
There you go.
no,
That's
you never
nice,
know
yeah.
what's going to happen. My plan. That's what I really believe. Anyway,
I just hope at Ground Zero is gonna fall. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I want a front row seat to the end of the earth. That's what I want.
Idiots running around here.
I want a front row seat. I want to see it burn. No,
Oh man.
I honestly, I'm just doing what I do during this. I hope it does let up and everything gets back to normal. They're talking this new normal shit, which I don't understand. It's a fucking virus, unless it's something that's really going to wipe out a lot of people. And I start seeing like you and people around me dying off. I don't know what we got to
Yeah.
do. What's this new thing we got to keep doing? I thought we've always dealt with viruses. So if it's a black plague where people are dying and everybody's dropping around me, then you think, well, we got to do shit differently. But I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going on. It's a weird thing that's happening. I hope it goes back to as much as it can to the way it was. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to continue doing what I do until I can't for whatever reason. You know, if
We're living in a different world right now. Something that's completely unprecedented for us, for our lifetime.
it is.
So it's different. So
I was thinking that this is, well, nothing's happened, you know, in our lifetime, how
Right,
interesting, but there's
right.
always been a scare. There's always been a,
Yeah.
remember the year 2000, the 2YK,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
going to wipe all the computers out, everybody's banks was going to be, and everybody sold books, and it was all over the news. And
planes
I don't
are
know.
gonna fall out of the sky.
Yeah, and then it
computers are gonna
didn't,
explode.
so it's hard not to look at this and
You
go,
never know. Yeah.
yeah, you're not go. I mean, how severe is it? You know, I'm hearing conflicted reports this way or that way, but I don't really know. So I just kind of sit back and do what I do, and I hope it does. It's not too. You know, I know people are dying And people always bring that up, but death is a part of life, and
Yeah, unfortunately,
you
yeah,
can't really.
It is the cycle. That's what we have to do. We just don't want to have to deal with stuff like this. Is the herd being thinned?
Right, well,
so it's how it always feels when these things come around. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
and
weird.
my thing is, and I love life, but I know that I'm going to die someday.
Of
My
course.
parents died. I'm going to die. Yeah, and you don't want untimely death. That's the worst.
Right.
But I think Mother Nature does have a way of doing that. Everything does. You know,
Yeah.
she's going to shake the ants off at a time. There's a lot of us on her surface, and she's going to go, I don't want you on. Then the herd.
You're
you
making
know?
me itch.
Yeah, let me scratch this here. There goes $1 billion, gone.
Oh, that's
and I
great.
hate, I got to joke about it because it is. It is. A
I have to
fraud.
find
It fucking
humor in
happens.
everything. It's the only thing that keeps us sane. After some of the stuff we've all been through, it's like, oh my God, what's next?
Right.
So let's crack a few jokes and go.
Yeah, I just hope everybody can stay safe in one way or another. But I say that when my son leaves to get on a skateboard in the street.
My
I give him a
heart's out
kiss,
there
and I
for
say,
everybody. My good thoughts are out there for everybody. All we can do is just hope, stay healthy, and try to support each other through it. Any way you can. Just be
right.
careful. That's all we can do because we don't know. That's the thing.
If you feel like you got that virus, go get a shot of penicillin. Glove up the next time. Put a rubber on the fucking thing.
Stay away from Tony on one of those binge nights.
Right.
Thank
That's
God
for
those
sure.
are over for us.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
dude. I'll tell you what. That's too many of them. It was.
I almost said just you, but I got to own up to that.
Come on
So,
now.
know,
I think a lot of
I
people
know.
can relate.
Absolutely.
There's a lot
Most
of
of them, more than none.
Because I'll tell you, alcohol is a delicious thing, and it's a lot of fun. I had a great time. It was the people around me that did not really have a good time.
That's the thing. I didn't have a problem drinking. Everybody else
That's
did.
a problem with my drinking.
Exactly.
Right. It's great.
Oh God, you guys were bad. Anybody else you want to say hello to, Tony, while we're here?
I just got to give props to everybody who had helped with this album. Everybody who was on it. Mike Ennis, Marty Lucas, Dave Lansing's on it. Chris Gutero for producing and playing on it. My wife Tammy, who's pushed me to do it. She's like, just go goddamn do this thing. Quit talking about it.
I
Go
didn't
do
make me
it.
crazy. Get it done.
Right. Zachary Noyes, my son, who actually helped me with some parts on harmonies.
He's a cool kid.
Oh, he's great. And he's
Zach.
talented. He also played some piano, some keyboards on the Wings of Gossamer in the middle. He played that.
Cool.
And so he does some performances. Yes.
Mad
yes.
props. Yes.
And just everybody who has supported, what I do. And I got to thank everybody who is kind. Kind enough to purchase the CD, and it's right now you can pre-order it. A lot of people have done that, and I'm just so appreciative.
Tell everybody where we can go again.
Go to www.tonynoyes.com. That's TonyNoyes.com.
.com.
That's right.
There you go.
And order that bad boy. You get yours today.
Check it out. It's a cool website too. It's got all kinds of cool stuff on there. So.
There's a lot of stuff. I revamped it. It's got stuff about the calendars and the modeling, and there's even like a disclaimer of look out. There's implied nudity. Turn back now. Hit the back button if you don't want to see somebody shirtless. If that offends you.
Jay, you got merchandise on there.
Yeah.
You just check it out. You guys got a bunch of cool stuff out there. Your other albums on there. You have those still on there.
I
right?
do. I have the
Yeah.
Crazed album
Crazed is on
for
there,
sale.
and-
Yeah. And I
Nice.
think there might be another one on there. Yeah, I got shirts up there. Some Undead in the West shirts you can purchase there as
Nice.
well.
Those are so cool.
I threw
I
up
love
some
that shit.
guitar picks if you want to buy some of
Let's
those.
go.
Just put a lot of different stuff on there. So
Check it out, man.
yeah, please go to the site and purchase this CD, Good versus Evil.
I hope you guys liked everything tonight. Tony, thanks so much for hanging out.
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I
It's
do.
just nice to talk to people in person again.
Right. Get to hang out a little bit,
Yes.
for sure. So thanks
And
for
I hope I
asking
see
me.
you again really soon. We're definitely going to hang out again, especially before the scrap's even over. We're going to do some more fun stuff anyway. I
Absolutely.
know you have some more secrets to share with us very soon, and that's going to be another show. We're going to break records with these.
Here we are. You're not going to be able to get rid of me.
I love it. I want to.
He's been
You're
on
an
72
inspiration,
times.
I know. Well, you want to take us out of here?
I certainly will. Thank you very much, sir, for having me again. It's been a blast. Always fun hanging out with you.
Thank you, my man. You've been listening to Tony Noyes.
On James C. Stark Radio.
And you guys stay awesome, stay cool. We will see you soon. Tune in. If you want to be part of the show, give me a call, 623-910-0265. Again, that number is 623-910-0265. Call or text anytime you want, and we will get you on here, man. Can't wait. You guys stay awesome, stay cool, stay out of trouble, and stay completely awesome! Peace. I'm out.
Later.